Alright, these are my favorite Criterions, let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? Happy Blu-ray Tuesday. Didn't go out hunting today because there wasn't really anything interesting for me to pick up, so I decided to do a video from home. And with this week being the last week to get those juicy 50% off Criterion sales from Barnes & Noble. So yeah, Criterion, let's get into it. Starting off with is Baby's first Criterion pickups. I've seen this set in a lot of people's videos in the background when they don't usually talk about physical media or boutique stuff in general, or even Criterion in general, and that is the Bruce Lee Greatest Hits set. What can you go wrong with this? It's discounted pretty heavily. You know, granted, you're getting 5 movies for a great deal. It's cheaper to get this than individual discs. There is an Arrow 4K release, but that is a lot harder to pick up and it's a lot more expensive. And you can't really play the bonus features if you don't have a region-free player, which is a surprisingly high number of collectors now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, this is a very safe pickup. You got fantastic films. You got The Big Boss, you got Fist of Fury, you got The Way of Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death. With great transfers. These aren't the newest 4K transfers that Arrow's done, but they're still great looking transfers. You can't really go wrong with any of these films. Are they cheesy? Yes, but I think the cheese is so good in here. The soundtrack is fantastic. The action is great. It's not going to be the pulse pounding kind of, it's not going to really hold a candle to modern action movies when it comes to these modern martial arts action movies, even action movies that came out a decade later from Hong Kong and those kind of films. But the cinematography is fantastic. It's a lot of the fight scenes feel epic. The way they're shot, the fantastic music, the great performances. Bruce Lee kills it in every single one of it. It's just because he's a short man, but he has such a demeanor to him where it's like, dude, don't fuck with this guy, because this guy will rip your eyeballs out, he'll rip your heart out, and then he'll feed it to you. So yeah, the Bruce Lee's Greatest Hits, absolutely fantastic collection for a pretty good price, and so I highly recommend it. Keeping with, now this is still sealed because I watched these on the Criterion channel. What I usually do before buying a movie is I'll watch it on the Criterion channel because they have a great subscription service which has like almost most of their stuff there. Not all of the stuff, and they have films that aren't even in the collection to buy physically, but it has great transfers through the streaming app, and that is Jackie Chan's Police Story 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. Absolutely love these films. Again, speaking what I was talking about with the Hong Kong action films, this is peak. This is, you have great comedy. Now, I highly recommend you guys watch this in the original Mandarin dub, I believe, the original Cantonese dub, because trying to watch this in English, the jokes don't land. The people who dubbed over Jackie Chan and the actors were very half-assed and very lazy. It didn't really sound like they wanted to give convincing performances. But when you watch Jackie, because even though all of these films are dubbed and it's very overtly dubbed, none of the audio sounds like it's on camera, it's all dubbed, so I didn't think there'd be that drastic of a change. But watching Police Story 1 and 2 on English felt like a 5 out of 10, and then watching it in Cantonese felt like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, it's fantastic. The practical effects, these both come with new 4K digital restoration, so it looks great, packed full of bonus features. They're fantastic films, and it's a pretty good price. Great artwork on the inside too, so I absolutely love this. Jackie Chan in Police Story 1 and 2 is another normie cop for, you know, when a lot of people think of Criterion, they think of like, ooh, art house cinema and kind of film things, but they have a lot of like very people-pleasing films, and Police Story 1 and 2 is on that list. Now we're getting into some more artsy-fartsy films. This is a war film. This is a German film. This is Il Bruch, or The Bridge on Blu-ray. I did mention this in a previous live stream, but The Bridge is a true story about, I guess, a regiment of kids. Like, it's a group of kids who grew up together, who have their own personal strife, and they're like, my situation at home isn't the greatest, let me go, I have these friends, let me go to war, let me see how it is. And, you know, this kind of audacious, kind of propagandized, because back then they thought, oh, going to war, it's like an adventure, you'll be a man, blah, blah, blah. And then they think that going to war is better than their mundane lives, and they're immediately reminded that that is not the case. It is extremely depressing. It really shows young adults or teenagers in a more mature light. A lot of films, especially in the 50s and 60s, kind of show kids as these like immature, you just don't know what you're talking about, and they never really learn from those mistakes. Here you can tell that they're still kids, that they're still immature, they still don't have the full thought process of, hey, this isn't why you should be doing this, but it's told in a way where it's realistic, because we've all been kids, we've all been those rebellious teenagers. But it's just a really fascinating film. The dialogue here is fantastic. It's not a big action, you know, war film, but there are some really good practical effects. They're using real tanks, you know, bombs go off, gunfire goes off, so it does give you that war film kick. It's more of a war film than Overlord, because I went into Overlord expecting it to be this kind of D-Day movie, but this gives you more of that war film feel. A German film that was made 14 years after World War II. I can't recommend this film enough if you haven't checked it. No one really talks about this film, but yeah, The Bridge has a good transfer and I highly recommend it. There's so many scenes where there's an iconic scene of a kid going through post-traumatic stress, which has been used I'll put the photo up here, but it's been used all over the internet to kind of describe what PTSD is, and that's how good. The cinematography is great, it looks fantastic, the story is great, and it's a great anti-war film told in the German perspective, and it's absolutely fantastic. So The Bridge, I highly recommend too. One of my favorite releases from Criterion. Now this one is, this one's gonna be a hot take. I just love this movie so much. This is my favorite Wes Anderson film. It is such a comfort film for me. The cinematography, the artistic direction it took with the stop motion animation and those kind of things, and that is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Now I have here the DVD version, but I want to get the Blu-ray version soon. I just love this movie. I adore it so much. The music, the performances, it's so funny. It takes so many of my favorite, it's very dry humor. It's not going to be for everyone. The humor is very Wes Anderson-y. This is probably, if it wasn't for his last few films that he made, this is probably very Wes Anderson-y. Very just oozes Wes Anderson-y, but in the best way possible. Again, stacked cast. And I think on IMDb, this is currently his lowest rated film, which is really shocking to believe, but I absolutely adore this film. This is before they gave us Criterion, before they gave us I guess pamphlets. It's just a picture card here and then the back with the chapters on it. So yeah, another one of my favorite Criterion releases, that is Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. My recommendation, either that or The Grand Budapest Hotel. I love this film. Now another film I absolutely love, this is another film about the youth, and that is Francois Truffaut's The 400 Blows, another film that kind of encapsulates the childhood experience, but you know, watching this as an adult, you kind of understand more of because I watched this as a kid originally, and then I didn't watch it until, you know, recently, and it's just so many more of the darker tones when it comes to being a kid trying to you know, escape your troubles at home through friendship. It's basically about you know, the couple days in the life of a kid living in France in the 50s or something. So it's absolutely fantastic. It's also a really nice screenshot of 50s France and the post-war France, and you see things. You see him going through his delinquent phases, what he does, skips school, steals things. But you can tell that he's a good kid. He just wants to fit in. He just wants to find, I guess, enjoyment in life when there isn't at home. So another film that I highly recommend. A bit more artsy, again, a little slow, but it's a very short film. 99 minutes long. It's a breeze, and I highly recommend it. The 400 Blows. And now another comedy on the list. This is just announced that I got a 4K, but it's in those Columbia Classic 4K box sets. And this is Tootsie on Blu-ray. Sidney Pollack film. Absolutely love this film. Basically, Dustin Hoffman, he can't get a job. He's too much of an artiste. Like, he keeps nitpicking things. Like, he'll get a job playing a banana or something, and he's like, he keeps grilling the director, the commercial director, on the ethics of being a banana and what the sequence calls for. And he's basically one of the hardest you know, actors to work with, so he can't get a job. So he has to dress in drag, and he basically becomes America's Mother and basically Bill Cosby without the Quaaludes. But yeah, I loved how mature the take is. It's not just like, because when I first heard of this film, I'm so used to shitty, like 90s and 2000s comedies. Like, oh, it's a man in a dress. Oh, he's wearing a wig. Oh, he kissed a boy. It's very mature. The comedy doesn't derive from just him, even though there are like, wow, this is an insane, where, you know, you're a man in your 40s and you're dressing up as a woman just because you can't get a job. The whole aspect of it. There's a lot of moments where, you know, people fall in love with him and he's like, and there's moments like that, but that's not the entire base of the comedy. There's great social commentary. It's not overbearing with the political commentary, but it's there. It's a good time. You do get the 4K digital restoration. It comes with a boatload of features, and another film that I recommend, Tootsie on Blu-ray. Now let's get dark and depressing and drab. This is why I want to say that these are recommendations, but it's like, some of these films I know a lot of people aren't gonna like, and one of them is Eric Skjoldbjerg's Insomnia. Absolutely bloody fantastic. 4K digital restoration. Extremely, it's not a drab of a movie, it's so much anxiety. It's basically a man accidentally kills his partner in the pursuit of a criminal, and he tries to cover it up, and he can't sleep because he's so like entangled in this whole thing, and because the killer's still out there. It's a whole lot of things going on, so it's absolutely nerve-wracking to get into, but it's told so good. The acting is so good by Stellan Skarsgård, the visual imagery, the fog. I just love these Nordic Swedish films because just the performances, I don't know, maybe because I don't speak Norwegian or Swedish, just the performances are so realistic that it just encapsulates you into the storytelling, and Insomnia here is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Insomnia is another highly recommend, kind of. If you're into dark, depressing tales of true crime and murder and trying to hide things, and like, it's a fantastic tale of murder and not betrayal, but murder, crime. It's also an investigative story, detective story kind of thing, so I highly recommend Insomnia if you get the chance to pick it up. I got this for really cheap, so I couldn't recommend it enough. Kind of. Now this one I can recommend full-heartedly. Well, to be fair, I've wholeheartedly recommended all these films because they mean a lot to me and they're fantastic films. But this is Guillermo del Toro's one of my favorite films in his repertoire, in his filmography, and that is Cronos. I think Cronos is Guillermo del Toro's interpretation of Frankenstein. I think when we think of Frankenstein, we kind of think of this. This is basically Frankenstein if we knew Frankenstein before he was a corpse, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, you're introduced to this grandpa character, and then through the graces of this cicada kind of machine, ancient Egyptian kind of thing, it takes his life force, but it gives him more life force, and the more he's killed, he's regenerated back. Those kind of things. Ron Perlman is in this, and he looks the same as he's looked at, even though he's in his, like, I think 30s or something like that. It's insane. Cronos is a highly recommend. Great practical effects, great performances. I believe this is his first film too, right? His feature debut. So what a way to start your feature film debut with Cronos. Absolutely love this. If you guys are into classic Universal monster films, this is in Spanish, by the way, so it's not gonna be as digestible if you're not into foreign films, but it's really, really good. The dialogue is fantastic. It's heartwarming. It's saddening. It's gruesome. There's just so many great things about this film, and I absolutely love Cronos. Spy number 551. I should have been naming the spy numbers, but whatever. We're so far deep into the video. But yeah, Cronos. Love this. Recommend it. I can't recommend this enough. One of my, if not my favorite Guillermo del Toro film. Only Stanley Kubrick can make incest so damn good. We're talking about Barry Lyndon. Okay, the movie's not about incest. There's like a little bit of it in the beginning, but it's told where it's like, yeah, you know, just, you know, being sexually attracted to your cousin, that's totally fine. But that's not what the story is about. But Barry Lyndon, I'm not going to delve into it too much because it's a great film. Again, I want to say that it's long. It's a 3-hour film. It's paced well because you go through the life of someone from when they're a young adult to when they're middle-aged, I believe. You know, this film has everything. It has drama, it has romance, it has action, war. You know, the grand scale war, the scene that they have, it's absolutely fantastic. With the recent passing of Ryan O'Neal, I would recommend this. You know, I'm going to say this is not for everyone because, again, it's a historical epic that's 3 hours long that goes through someone's entire life, but I would say the usage, every single frame of this film can be used as a poster. I think this is the first film to not have any artificial lighting. All of the lighting is either done through candles or through sunlight, and they used specific NASA lenses to be able to go at such a low aperture to be able to film in such low light settings. Yeah, Barry Lyndon on Blu-ray with the 4K restoration looks fantastic. Could it look better with some Dolby Vision? Yeah, but you know, for what we have here, it looks absolutely bloody fantastic. And Stanley Kubrick. If you don't own any Stanley Kubrick in the Criterion Collection, what are you doing with your life? Are you even a Criterion collector? Are you even a film lover if you don't have Barry Lyndon or any Stanley Kubrick film in your collection? That was rude. I'm sorry. I apologize. You guys are valid to your own opinions. And then the last film, which I am very passionate about, this is basically Jim Jarmusch's take on the Le Samurai, but I love this way more. I do not like Le Samurai. Sorry, hot take. I know it just got announced with the 4K. It just came out with the 4K. Do not like that film. This is Le Samurai, but better, more mood. It's on the same scale of moodiness, you know, because Le Samurai had some decent performances and some great visual style, and the music was great. The story and the writing was really bad in my opinion. I did not like how it was portrayed, but this is a lot better. Ghost Dog, it is very 90s, 1999 Jim Jarmusch. When I first saw something like this, would a chubby Forrest Whitaker feel like a badass? And here he very much portrays that badass with the soft soul. He's kind of like the big bear who can attack you, but if you've ever seen bears being all cute and shit, that's basically what this is. The Way of Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, has more to do with the samurai than Le Samurai does, with the whole omens and the kind of the Book of the Samurai. He reads it, and what's cool is it comes with the Book of the Samurai, dude. Like, this is a badass like set. It comes with all of the sayings and all of the, you know, there is surely nothing other than the single purpose of the present moment. A man's whole life is a succession of moment after moment. Like, it's very deep. It's a great film. This is a Sigma movie. I don't know. This is basically a Sigma movie, but it's told really well. Fantastic action. There are some great action scenes. The dialogue is fantastic. It's not overblown, but it's reserved, and it's a great tale of revenge and heartbreak and tragedy and betrayal and all these kind of things, and it's a great film, and I highly recommend Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai. I think this just got announced that it had a 4K a couple years ago. I think it got delayed or something, or canceled. Who knows? But yeah, so those are my picks. Those are my favorite films in the Criterion Collection that I own. In my collection that I own. Because if I wouldn't have, I would have put Ingmar Bergman's Cinema Box or the Wong Kar-wai box set. I just don't own them currently in my collection. Hopefully soon though. You never know. So yeah, those are my picks, my top 10 picks. Let me know down below what are your top 10 Criterion picks, and I will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I have been Mason from the Mockbuster YouTube channel. Have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning. Whenever you're watching this, please stay safe and God bless. Peace, cheers, along with physical media. See you guys. Ka-chow.